Somebody asked me to make a video discussing the problem of evil, so here we go. The problem of evil, in short, is the problem of why there are all these bad things that happen if God exists. The basic gist is something along the lines of 1, if God exists, then evil would not exist. 2, evil exists. 3, therefore God does not exist. And the linchpin of his argument is the first premise, and one might support this premise by saying something like, well, if God exists and is all-loving, then he would prevent all evils that he is able to prevent. But there are problems with this reasoning. The claim that a good God will prevent all evils he can assumes that God can't have any morally sufficient reasons for allowing any type of evil. Yet, why should we think a thing like that? If the problem is presented as an argument, the proponent needs to offer a justification for thinking God can't or does not have any reasons for allowing evil. And one response by theists is to say, look, if at the end of the day we have to throw up our hands and say we don't know why God allows evil, that doesn't tell us much about God, as we shouldn't expect to be privy to all his reasonings. This response is referred to as skeptical theism in the academic literature. However, a good deal of philosophers have put forth ideas or defenses of what God's reasons might look like, and I want to briefly discuss 2 of those. The first reason for allowing evil is the free will defense. The idea here is that God wants us to have serious freedom in being able to love him or reject him. He wants us to have responsibility and significance in our actions, and the only way our actions can have this is if we are free and if there are real consequences to our actions. Imagine you were given the option to live 2 lives. In life 1, you feel no pain or discomfort, but you never do anything significant, and nothing you ever do matters. In life 2, you will feel pain and discomfort, but your actions will matter and mean something. Which do we think is the better life? A second reason for allowing evil is what is called a soul-building defense. The idea here is that God allows evil because it contributes to the moral development of our souls. Many of the moral attributes we find the most praiseworthy, things like unwarranted forgiveness, compassion to the suffering, courage in the face of danger, are ones that respond to evil in the world. Not only this, but suffering is often a catalyst that contributes to our moral development. I know personally that I look back at the most miserable moments of my life, and I'm thankful to them because they helped me grow. I will conclude this section on soul building and the video as a whole with a quote from The Problem of Pain by C.S. Lewis. He says, "Over a sketch made idly to amuse a child, an artist may not take much trouble. He may be content to let it go, even though it is not exactly as he meant it to be. But over the great picture of his life, the work which he loves, though in a different fashion, as intensely as a man loves a woman or a mother a child, he will take endless trouble, and would doubtless thereby give endless trouble to the picture if it were sentient. One can imagine a sentient picture after being rubbed and scraped and recommenced for the 10th time, wishing that it were only a thumbnail sketch, whose making was over in a minute. In the same way, it is natural for us to wish that God had designed for us a less glorious and less arduous destiny. But then we are wishing for not for more love, but for less."